Previously on the adventures of Tormod the Troll.
Tormod the Troll! A normal troll, bored of his humdrum existence inside a mountain, he decides to go exploring and enters the real world. There he finds real people and finds himself locked within an orchestra. Only finding his favorite mountain music will free him. He must explore the orchestra in order to find his way home.
Part-time members: saxophone, harp, piano. Some music needs instruments that don't always play in the orchestra. Here are 3 of these instruments. Saxophone. The saxophone is part of the woodwind section. It's made of brass, but it has a reed, like the clarinet reed.
The saxophone is really cool.
In this extract, the saxophone has the solo and is playing with the orchestra. Can you hear a snare drum at the beginning and then a woodblock later on? It's a lively piece. So here we have Movement 3, Brasileira, from Scaramouche by Darius Milhaud. Harp. The harp is a string instrument, but it isn't like the violin or cello. It's a different shape. It's much bigger, and you always pluck the strings.
Oh dear, another one that's too big for me to play.
In this next extract, the harp sounds completely free in this gentle piece. Imagine you are running across fields as you listen, with the wind in your hair. This is number 2, Danse Profane, from Deux Danses by Claude Debussy. Piano. The piano is almost like an orchestra on its own. When it plays in the orchestra, it adds another kind of sound.
How about a duet, you and me?
I bet you recognize the tune from this next extract. Yes, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But wait, the composer then gives the tune variations, which is a bit like dressing it up in different clothes, so it starts to sound faster and more complicated. Listen to the piano take off with it. So this is Theme and Variations number 1 from Variations on a Nursery Song by Erno Dochnani. The conductor. This is the boss. Back to the audience, front to the orchestra. The conductor is in charge. The conductor's job is to make the orchestra a really good team. With a lot of players, the music could sound messy, so the conductor keeps everyone together. The most obvious job for a conductor in guiding the orchestra is to beat time. That stops the players from going too slowly or too fast.
Some conductors hold a stick, a baton, and some don't. Some conductors bounce up and down and make weird faces. They have to do whatever they can so that the music doesn't sound like a big splodge.
This next piece of music is called In the Hall of the Mountain King, and it's taken from Peer Gynt by Edvard Grieg. The Norwegian composer Edvard Grieg said he didn't like listening to In the Hall of the Mountain King, even though he created it himself, but many other people love it. Grieg wrote this music for a play by a fellow Norwegian called Henrik Ibsen, called Peer Gynt. The play is based on a fairy tale. Peer Gynt is in the mountains and enters the royal hall of the old man, or the Mountain King. The hall is full of trolls, gnomes and goblins. It's also Tormod's favourite music.
Oh, here it is! It's my music! Ha ha ha! I'm coming! Tormod the Troll is coming home! Where have I been? I've been exploring the orchestra, the most amazing team in music. I want to go! 1, 2, 1, 2, don't stop, dab, dab, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, is that a bassoon?
I'm gonna find a golden trumpet to match my fur. Oh yeah, I want an instrument too.
It's been a long life for me on this mountain.
I need a triangle. Yeah, didn't you bring a harp?
Hello everyone, we're going to learn how to conduct today. You ready? Okay, for this activity you will need, well, I don't expect you to have a baton, but you could use a pencil or a chopstick, something like that. Something not too heavy, but something you can hold. If maybe you've got a magic wand, that would do it as well, okay? Now, when you get your baton, we don't hold it in a fist. We have to be quite delicate. We have to be floaty light. like we're going to cast a spell. In fact, we're going to practice our first move right now. So when you want a group of players to stop playing, you draw a little circle. So it's a bit like casting a spell. Okay, now for me, because I'm right-handed, I'm coming from the right-hand side and making my circle anti-clockwise. In this video I'm going to demonstrate as the orchestra would see me, and I'm going to come round to the other side and hopefully show you what my hand's doing from my point of view. Okay, so to finish the note you're going to do a circle like that. If you weren't conducting with a baton using your hands, you'd make the circle and sort of squeeze the sound out like that. Shh, like that. Okay, so from your side, here's my baton, and I'm doing the circle from the right and round. Now, the next most important thing is starting off. You go up the ladder from the right hand side if you're right handed. Okay, so 3, 4, and there's our first beat. So musicians in an orchestra are often looking for the downbeat. I'm going to stand so you can see against my jacket here. The downbeat is where the beginning of the bar happens. So to do that, you go up to the top and you just draw a straight line down. And you kind of bounce at the bottom. 1. That's called the ictus. It's a big word, isn't it? Ictus. 1. Then beat 2, because I'm right-handed, comes over to the left, across to the right, and then up through the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, from my point of view it looks like this. My baton. 1, 2, 3, 4. So down through the middle, little bounce, over to the left, over to the right, and up through the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finish it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and off. Okay, so we've got our basics. We know how to beat 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know how to finish the piece off. If they were doing a held note, someone in the orchestra is holding a long note, you can hold your hand out like that. So basically your dominant hand, now there are left-handed conductors, okay, and you always come to the middle. So if you're left-handed, you'd come to the middle going to the right. Okay, so that's for any left-handers watching. Okay, it feels very awkward to me, I'm right-handed. Okay, now the other hand, when you a lot of the time it's not needed. So you'll see sometimes conductors, they'll have their hand on their tummies, or even maybe behind them, or just to their side. But the other hand is all about expressiveness. Okay, so if you want a player to hold a long note, or maybe to get louder, okay, you can control, you could say, not so loud, calm down. Okay, so that's what this hand does. But you can also control things like volume with your right hand. So if it was very quiet, you'd make lots of little movements. Again, I'm going to sort of stand so you can see against my jacket. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the downbeat should still be clear, but it's very small movements, as if to say shh. And sometimes you see conductors shh. And that's what Tormod was saying about pulling funny faces. Okay, they'll use their faces and their bodies to express, to the orchestra how they want the music to sound. If you want it loud, you're going to use big movements with your arm, and we're going to be conducting the in the Hall of the Mountain King in a minute. Okay, at the end it gets really loud. Also gets quite quick, so we're going to have to speed up our movements. It's going to be very big. Okay, so your right hand, if it's loud, you can make it quite big, and you make your movements bigger. Okay, if you want something to be played in a light spiky way, then you can move your baton in a spiky way. Da, 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 da. Okay, I want it light. Da, 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 da. Okay, what else? You might want the players to play smoothly, so that then you imagine your batons kind of, you're trying to pull it through syrup or honey or something. So you're sort of gliding it through in a very smooth way. Ya da 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 da. It could be loud and spiky, or loud and really punched out. Da 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 da. You want it really marked, so you make very bold, fixed movements. Okay, so the conductor's job is to be very expressive and to sort of explain to the orchestra how they want the music to sound. A lot of the instructions in the music will give the players an idea, but the conductor might want to refine that even more. So if it says quiet, he or she might want it super quiet. Or if he wants it in a cheeky way, he might say, you know, play even bouncier or even cheekier. You see? What else could we add to this? Well, let's make some faces. Okay, so if you want this to be very dramatic and very serious, okay, you can make sort of dramatic faces like that. Maybe it's the most beautiful thing you've ever heard in the world. Okay, so it's all about expressing to the orchestra, not the audience. All the audience is going to see is someone's back, which isn't very exciting at all. Although some conductors can be very move a lot, you know, so that can be entertaining in itself. I think we're ready to begin. So the piece, it starts off with a long note. So because there's no indicating exactly when the music's going to start off my recording, we're just going to hold a note to start with, and then I'm going to let the beginning of the melody start, and I'm going to give a count in, so I can, because I'm not conducting the piece fresh, I'm not telling the orchestra when to start. I don't really know when that piece of music's going to get going yet. Okay, so I'm going to wait till I hear the beat, and then I'm going to join in. Okay, so I'm going to give you my version of how I conduct in the Hall of the Mountain King, and then at the end of the video, well, you could either join in with me if you want, but I'm going to put the piece of music at the end as well for you to have a go. So your assignment, your task this week is to find yourself a baton, chopstick, pencil, whatever it is. Be careful of eyes, by the way. It's very easy to sort of flick up, and so because they're quite long if you're using a chopstick, say. Okay, just be careful of eyes. Yeah, and your task is to conduct in the Hall of the Mountain King. If you want to dress up, you can do. Okay, right, I'm going to stop the video, I can get the track ready, and here's my version. Okay. Notice it's getting faster a little bit. Spiky. Faster. Slightly louder so my movements can get a bit bigger. Here we go. Then you turn around and take your bow. Let the audience know that the orchestra did all the work, even though you're the boss. Okay? I think you'll have a lot of fun with this activity. It gets really quick at the end, so always remember to breathe. And one thing I should have mentioned as well, of course, is that the hand that's not holding the baton also brings in different members of the orchestra, gives them a little reminder that it's their turn to play. So when you hear a new instrument coming in, you could kind of point to where you think the player would be to say, yeah, it was your turn to play. Okay, have fun with this. See you soon. Take care.